I have been living in a small neighborhood in the municipality of Guadalupe, in the state of Nuevo León, in Mexico, for about a year. During this time, nothing out of the ordinary had happened. Some scares, noises, or a neighbor telling you something happened to them, nothing. But until recently, about 3 weeks ago, some very strange noises began to be heard. My neighborhood is, as I told you, very small. It's like a corridor. The first house at the beginning, then the second, and at the end the lot, mine. It's located in a colonia, so there are more houses around us, and 2 of my walls divide my house from the patios of 2 neighboring houses, the one behind and the one right next to me. Those sounds seemed to come from behind the wall, as if from the neighbor's patio someone was hitting the wall with small, light blows. At first it didn't really surprise me, because those neighbors often had a lot of noise in their house, mainly very loud music regardless of the time, but it did catch my attention. I had never heard that kind of knocking before, and never at dawn. I ended up ignoring them after a while. If I could sleep with music a little loud out of habit because of the neighbors, why wouldn't I sleep with something calmer? The next day, when I got home from work, I got ready for bed. I had been at a family party over the weekend and hadn't slept well. I had barely returned to my house in the neighborhood when, again, those sounds woke me. Again I realized, those little knocks coming from the neighbor's wall. Now it felt weird, because they sounded exactly the same as the night before. The next day at work I saw my neighbor and greeted her. She's a woman of about 60 who has lived there the longest and knows most of the neighbors. Since I hadn't seen her over the weekend, I told her about the sounds on the wall. She completely changed her expression. She looked very surprised and worried. "Oh, my daughter, I thought I was the only one hearing them," she said, with that look of concern. I asked what she meant. She told me that during the past week the neighbor next door, let's call him Ignacio, crashed while driving drunk on his way back home into an abandoned house on the corner. There was a lot of damage to the property, and Ignacio disappeared for a few days because people were going to report the incident and, she said, it wasn't the first time he had trouble from alcohol abuse. They assumed there would be several charges. She went on, last week, as she was arriving at the neighborhood after buying things at the market a few blocks away, a woman who lived in Ignacio's house ran up crying and in full hysteria asking for help. When they went into the neighbor's house almost running, they saw Ignacio lying outside on the balcony. He had taken his life, hanging from a hook at the neck from some balcony pillars on the 2nd floor. No one knows at what time or when exactly he arrived home, but they are sure he had been hanging since dawn and they had barely seen him in the patio until morning. That day there was a lot of movement from early on, ambulances, police, and the experts corresponding to the scene. It wasn't broadcast in the media, my neighbor said, and whether it was or not they preferred to keep respect for the case. She told me that the scene was too strong to forget, that she cannot erase the details of what she saw, and that she didn't want to scare me. But she believed, based on what she saw, that the knocks we heard could have been the noises he probably made when he kicked because he was hanging, because where his body swung that morning was only a few centimeters from the walls of our neighborhood. I don't consider it necessary to move out, but I don't know how I could tell the other neighbors. Although we haven't heard anything since she told me, I still get chills thinking that what I heard might have been his last attempts to live. And you? Have you heard or had any experience like this in a neighborhood? Would you have gone to look at Doña Marce's steps at night?